Hello. My name is Alan Berger. I have the privilege of serving as Dean here at the Augustana campus of the University of Alberta. Augustana has a unique role within the University of Alberta, a large research institution, a top 5 university in Canada, a top 100 university in the world. Augustana students receive a parchment from that elite university, but they also have a special experience here on the Augustana campus. An experience that's characterized by a human-scale community, a community that values holistic education, and a campus that values a residential experience as well as a challenging academic experience. Here at Augustana, students receive an education grounded in the liberal arts and sciences. Our goals for students are threefold. First of all, we aspire to graduate students who are well prepared, not just for their first jobs, but for careers that will include many jobs that don't even exist yet. Secondly, we aspire to graduate students who will lead personally meaningful lives. And third, we aspire to graduate students who will be engaged citizens and competent leaders in their communities, in various organizations, in their churches and synagogues, and in the places they work. Toward that end here at Augustana, we have placed a value for many years on connecting the classroom to the community. And we do that in part through a special department on our campus that we call LAB. LAB is an acronym. It stands for Learning, Advising, and Beyond. And the acronym suggests that the beyond, the communities out there, are as important as the classroom. And students are educated in both settings. And that education works particularly well when those two settings are connected, the classroom to the rest of the world. But back in 2013, I challenged our faculty. I said to our faculty, as much as we value experiential opportunities for students, we could do so much better. We could provide these opportunities in various ways for every student. In fact, given the value we place on these experiences, they should be available to every student. And so our faculty took 2 years to study that challenge. And ultimately, what they came to realize was the traditional academic calendar that includes students studying over 2 semesters, taking 5 classes at a time each semester, produces many disadvantages that interfere with our goal of connecting the classroom to the community. So, for example, in a traditional academic calendar, classes are restricted to 50 or 75 minutes. Faculty are restricted to what they can accomplish with students in 50 or 75 minutes. Students are spread very thin, particularly if they aspire to graduate in 4 years. With that aspiration in mind, they need to average 5 courses each term. They're spread very thin across those classes. And taking that many classes at a time means they're not available for other kinds of out-of-class learning experiences, and faculty find it difficult to schedule out-of-class learning experiences because of students' many obligations. Those many obligations are also responsible, we now know, for high levels of student stress and even an increasing problem in Canada, suicide ideation among undergraduates. So you might wonder, why, with all these disadvantages with the traditional academic calendar, do we still use that calendar? After all, it's very old. It's the way we've always organized an undergraduate education. When I try to explain the persistence of the traditional academic calendar, I use the following analogy. The analogy takes us back to the development of the manual typewriter. Today, we type on a keyboard that is called the QWERTY Keyboard, Q-W-E-R-T-Y. And we call it the QWERTY Keyboard because that's the order of the keys on the top row. The QWERTY Keyboard was designed for this machine, not for the machines we use today to word process or otherwise produce text. The manual keyboard had a problem unique to that technology. And the problem was this: if a typist typed too fast, the keys would jam. And when the keys jammed, you had to reach in with your fingers and separate them, getting ink all over your hands. And then when you handled the piece of paper that you had put in the typewriter, you got ink all over that too. And you had to start over. I remember those days. I'm old enough. Why today do we still type on a keyboard that was organized for a manual typewriter? What exactly did that keyboard do for manual typing? Well, here's what it did. It slowed it down. The QWERTY keyboard was designed to slow down our typing to prevent the keys from jamming. And here we are in 2016, and we still type on a keyboard that was designed to slow us down, even though we're not typing on manual typewriters. We're typing on modern computer technology. Well, in many ways, the semester system is like the traditional QWERTY keyboard. Why do we still use a traditional semester system? Because that's the way we've always done it. And so here at Augustana, as our faculty considered the disadvantages of the semester system, they started looking far afield at other universities across North America. And they discovered a few that organized an undergraduate education in a different manner. And they said, let's borrow some of those pieces and integrate them into something that works for Augustana. Starting in the fall of 2017, we're going to launch a new academic calendar. And here's the structure of that new academic calendar. It still includes 2 semesters, a fall term and a winter term. But each of those terms is divided into a 3-week block and an 11-week session. In the 3-week blocks, a September block, a January block, and eventually a May block, students will take only 1 course at a time. Faculty who are teaching in the block terms will teach only 1 course at a time. In the more traditional 11-week sessions, students will take 3 to 4 classes. Our hope is that the new rhythms of this school year, because of the changing rhythms, will reduce levels of student stress and contribute to higher levels of student learning. There are many, many possibilities for the block terms. For example, when students do not have conflicts with other classes and are uniquely focused on their one class, and faculty the same, a faculty member might decide, why do we have to stay on campus? Let's take the class out to the Miquelon Lake Research Station that Augustana has recently constructed, where we'll study, we'll eat there, we'll sleep there, and we'll work together on an environmental science project. Or a drama professor might decide, I want to organize a workshop for my students where we will study the history and the context of a particular play. And we'll work on preparing a performance of that play for a public audience at the end of that 3-week period. Or a language professor might decide to prepare for students a 3-week immersion experience, not here in Camrose, but somewhere else in the world. A history or a political studies professor might decide, I'm going to take my class to Athens, where we're going to study the origins of democracy. A similar faculty member from the same department might decide, we're going to go to Ireland because in my class, we're studying conflict and we're studying peace resolution. And what can people in other areas of the world learn from the Protestants and the Catholics in Ireland who settled their differences and have built a modernizing, a growing economy and a society that respects human rights? Another faculty member might decide, my class is going to work on a project for a local not-for-profit organization for 3 weeks. And I'll be in there too, with my shirt sleeves rolled up. And together, we will work on an important challenge that not-for-profit has. And each evening, we will reflect on the kind of work we're doing and the challenges that exist in the community where we're residing. Another faculty member might decide, I'm teaching a more traditional class during the block, but student learning would be so much better if we had an opportunity to take a few field trips. Those field trips could be in province, those field trips could be out of province. These are the kinds of opportunities that a block term allows. But a block also allows us to think beyond classes. Students could be placed in mini internships during a block term. Students could take on undergraduate research projects in a block term. And here's what I think is an especially exciting possibility with the new calendar. The traditional fall and winter 11-week sessions where students are taking 3 or possibly 4 courses at a time, not 5, 3 or 4, thereby lessening the stress. Students and faculty in those classes will have opportunities to link the classroom experience to an on-site experiential opportunity before the class gets started, or to an on-site learning opportunity after the class ends. So imagine a class that is studying climate change, or a class that's studying environmental conditions here in Alberta. At the end of that class, the term is over. The students can apply what they've learned in a second research-focused class out at Miquelon Lake, the research station that I previously mentioned. This new academic calendar adds flexibility for faculty, it adds flexibility for students, and it creates learning opportunities that haven't previously been available in post-secondary education because of the challenges of the traditional semester system. As ambitious and revolutionary as these changes are, however, there's much that will stay the same here at Augustana with the new calendar. Students will still typically go to school for 2 terms, a fall term and a winter term. They will have the option of registering for a block in May and extending the school year in order to take advantage of an exciting learning experience. Students will still receive the same transcripts they always have, and the transcript will be organized pretty much the same way and easily read by faculty and staff at other universities. Class time will not change. The total number of minutes in class during a block or during a session will be the same as the total number of minutes during a traditional semester. In addition, and this is particularly important, the Augustana experience will speak loudly to the staff and faculty who make admissions decisions for graduate and professional programs, medical schools, law schools, business schools. How do I know? Because we've talked to the deans of those faculties, and they're as excited by the new academic calendar at Augustana as we are. And if you'd like more information about it, please contact our prospective students office, whose address you can find on our webpage. Thank you very much.